Well, finally got some warm weather today, so I'll be painting off the hull. I'm using a rustoleum textured aged iron paint. And due to the texture, this is under extreme pressure, far more than any normal spray paint. So you have to be very careful if you use this. It will explode out and you can get heavy spots that will ruin your model if you use this paint. But if done right, it gives a great look. You of course will at first think you may be messed up because the color might seem off from what you're picturing in your mind, but just stick with it, trust it, work through it. It will come out, it will work like you want. It really comes together once you do your dry brushing and your black wash over the entire hull. Here I'm spinning around, get the other side, get some of the stern. I said it's a big model and not that big of a porch. Of course, I don't really live in the best neighborhood, but there isn't really any good neighborhoods in my town anyway, so even if you live in one of the ritzy areas, it's still, you can still have a lot of trouble. The stern there is getting a lot of coating because all the contours of the prop wings and the overhang of the poop deck. Making sure I cover everything the way it's supposed to be covered. Touching up in the hull as well, with the bow. I will be looking, spin it back around where I'm going to step back a bit. I'm going to touch up the hull. Finish off the stern section a bit. Let's spin it back around to do any last minute touch-ups before I let it sit and dry. And you see I have to switch to my thumb. There's so much pressure in this can because of the texture that it really started hurting my normal finger. My little trigger finger, some people call it. There's the hull. Now onto the lower hull. I use a flat red primer. Gives a nice aged look to the lower hull, as you can see here. And onto the superstructure, I use a fossil satin from rustoleum. Really gives a nice aged and weathered look to the hull, as you can see in this picture. A smaller model here is what this 1/200 scale will look like once it's done. You see with the good weathering, they look great.